Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Reservations, and I'm Rain Whalen.
And I'm Nestor Leibowitz.
That sounds not Nestor, but Leibowitz sounds very familiar.
Does it?
Did you come up with that?
I mean, I'm sure I've heard the last name before. Yeah, like Fran Leibowitz. I like
Nestor
the last name.
Leibowitz. That almost vaguely sounds. I mean, it doesn't, but my first immediate thought was Mrs. Nesbit.
No.
Can't you see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit. Well, buddy, you said you had something you wanted to wait and tell me when we got started.
Yeah,
so what's up with that?
So, because I was going to tell you I watched something today, and so being unemployed, I have found myself with lots of free time. So I
as
do
one
things,
does.
I do things around the house. Today, I replaced some light bulbs. I capped a couple of sprinkler heads in the backyard. I did some cleaning, all that kind of stuff, But then, once all that's done, and especially when I first became unemployed, I would just normally just start my day by looking for jobs, applying for places, but I'd have the TV on, right? Well, today, I throw on a movie I hadn't seen in forever, and that I love so very much. And I don't know if people either remember it, number one, or two, they definitely don't talk about it enough. It's the 2000 remake of Bedazzled. Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, holy shit. I mean, what an amazing movie that is.
Dude, that movie... who was I talking about that movie with? Not recently. I think it was probably you.
Probably.
My favorite segment in that entire movie is when he's essentially just a white Dennis Rodman.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like profusely sweating and like, you just got to go out there and you got to give it 110%, and he's like spitting like the sweat on me. It's so
much
good.
Sweat, yeah.
It's post game too. Like the game is over, and it's yeah. I think I know why that movie doesn't get a lot of love is because as most things, it was, I'm sure, torn apart by critics.
Yeah, I was looking today at some of the critics and I was like, why is this not as well received as I think it should be? Because, a 6.1 is pretty good on IMDb, but a 49 Metascore, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's crazy because the other day at work, I was talking about one of my coworkers was talking about The Naked Gun. But he was like talking about the original, the Leslie Nielsen version. And I was like, man, Leslie Nielsen was the best. Like, no one had a comedic timing like Leslie Nielsen. I was like, his best role, in my opinion, is the Doctor in fucking Airplane. Yes, obviously Naked Gun has left its...
Yeah.
Naked Gun's amazing, but I mean, the man has like 5 scenes the whole movie, and he steals the entire movie of Airplane. And I was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, but the problem is that movie couldn't have been made today. And one of my coworkers was like, well, why? I'm like, well, the content, the humor is very of the time and very racially insensitive and sexually insensitive. I was like, but also the humor. I was like, it's slapstick and by the early 2000s or early 90s, slapstick was going away.
Well, it's the type of absurdist humor that that you get every once in a while, right? So obviously the new Naked Gun, I haven't seen it yet. I'm very excited to. They just put it on Paramount.
I heard it's I heard it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so I've heard it's hilarious. So, like, that type of humor of Airplane and Top Secret and Naked Gun, you get it every once in a while, and when you do, it's just tremendous, right? A few examples would be the TBS show Angie Tribeca.
Okay.
Hilarious. It is hysterical, and it is that type of humor, right? Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh, dude.
I know, it's perfect. And then most recently, besides the new Naked Gun movie, I think it's Michael Showalter again. It's a movie with Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler called They Came Together, and it is hilarious. It is precisely this type of absurdist, silly, sort of subverts expectations humor. It's so funny.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it's really.
But I think that's why Bedazzled probably got torn apart as much as it did, because I mean, you know, yeah, it's not absurdist humor, but I mean, it has those segments like the basketball player segment where it is just over the top, very silly humor. Or like when he like wants to be sensitive and then come to find out he's gay. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I think Bedazzled is so good. It's so funny. And of course, it's the phrase man. I mean, literally the man could do no wrong, you know. And let's be honest with ourselves, he was in the first G.I. Joe movie. But he can do no wrong. Like whenever Brennan is on screen, I want to see, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it. I want to see his new movie where he plays like a struggling actor in Japan.
Oh yeah.
And he like gets a role with this company where you know, he pretends to be people. They literally hire him to be someone.
Yeah.
And it looks so good, and I just love that Brennan is sort of getting this resurgence. Of course, we talked about it in our whale episode. Shout out to Zach for being in that episode. But yeah, I think that's why Bedazzled isn't fondly remembered. I think you and I are the only one that look back on it like,
love, but I mean, it is like, I don't know, man. I just love it. I think it's so good. It's so funny. I had, growing up, when I was a kid, I had two main celebrity crushes in my life. One, of course, was Kelly Kapowski, Tiffany Amber Thiessen on Saved by the Bell, and the other was Elizabeth Hurley. Specifically with Bedazzled. I mean, how could you not, you know?
Yeah.
But now it's like, it's such a shame. I think she's dating Billy Ray Cyrus right now. So
Ooh.
I know.
That's disappointing.
I know. Tell me about it.
Do you think he quotes his lines from Mulholland Drive to her all the time?
I think that's all he ever talks about, right? Is
yeah, I was in a David Lynch film once. Oh, really? What movie? Mulholland Drive.
I don't really get it.
I don't really understand it.
Kind of a
but I had a really good moment. I punched Justin Theroux in the face.
Yeah. I don't really get it. Kind of artsy bullshit. But you know, I was in
it. Dude, and that's exactly how he would fucking say it too. I'm Hannah Montana's dad. I'm just like last week. I'm so glad not last week, the week before. I'm so glad we're starting on such a light note. Before we
oh wait, I'm so sorry. Before we get, I have an update on my dad's journey.
Oh God, I was telling Ashley about this, and she was like, "Why?"
So
I don't know.
He texted me last week, or no?
Oh God.
Yes, last week, or over the weekend, and he just sent me, I watched August Underground. I'm done for a while.
Oh, that was one that you told him to maybe avoid.
I was
right?
like, I don't know if I'd be able to handle that one, but but I haven't seen it, so I don't know. And he was like, yeah, I'm done for a while. That's enough.
He found his limit.
Yeah, that one broke him. So it must be just like wicked. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But
that's so fucking funny.
He's back to normal, at least for now.
I can imagine him just sitting on the couch and doing like, well,
yeah,
I'm good.
Yep. Gonna go outside for a little bit. Gonna regroup.
Burns, like, calls someone like, hey, can you, I don't know, like, scrub my Apple TV, please?
Could you, yeah, he actually uses the Fire Stick.
Oh, yeah. It breaks it in half. Like, yeah, we got to go buy a new one.
Yeah, exactly. Just like snaps it. I mean, like, it makes me want to see it more, just because I'm like, man.
What if that breaks you?
I know. I'm done for a while.
I get a text from you. We're about to set up for another episode. I get a text from you, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna need to take a break for like 6 years.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break for a while.
I need time.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Good for Dad. You know, he tried. He pushed himself to the absolute limit. You know. Yeah. You know, we need to make little. We need to make little Live Strong bracelet like things for Dad. You know. The man persevered. And he, you know, like he climbed his Everest. And
yeah, and he didn't use performance enhancing drugs to do
that's
it.
Right. That's right. So yeah, anyway, that was my update with Dad.
That's so good. That's so funny. I imagine that's what spikes the viewership. Like, well, we got to know what happened to Jeremy's dad.
Yeah, we got to know. Where's he at? What's he watching?
Well, thank you for that update, buddy. But with that all being said, what are we talking about this week?
So today, we are discussing Ben Affleck's adaptation of Dennis Lehane's Gone Baby Gone.
Now, I meant to ask you this last week in our tease, but this is the third Dennis Lehane adaptation we've done, right?
We've done Shutter Island.
And The Departed, right?
Oh, that's not him.
Oh, is that someone else?
Well, The Departed is a remake of Infernal Affairs, which is
that's right.
A foreign film. But he I thought
we did another one.
He wrote Mystic River, which we have not done. But
I swear we did another one because I was like, man, that name sounds so familiar. And then I saw Shutter Island, and I was like, right. But what else have we done?
Well, looking here, we really couldn't have done any other one because the other one would have been like The Drop, which we haven't done, or Live by Night, which I will not see. So,
yeah, because I know that was, I guess it was just,
it's just Shutter Island.
Huh. I wonder what movie I'm confusing then.
I don't
know. Anyway, yes, Gone Baby Gone. Like I said in the tease, I've never seen this film. But I did watch Ben Affleck in an interview kind of going, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter's version of GQ's timeline where he was going through his filmography. And he gets to Gone Baby Gone, and he was talking of course he was so proud of the film, but he was like, I was so excited to, expose Casey to everyone, to expose audiences to Casey. He was like, but the assassination of Jesse James came out first, and everyone got to see him in that first. So He was like, but I'm so glad Gone Baby Gone was still well received, but I really wanted to be the one to introduce Casey to everyone.
Sure.
And I just kind of thought that was a little adorable, very like old brother, young brother kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm so proud of my baby brother. Like, I can't wait for everyone to see him. Oh, fuck, he's got another movie coming out. But it is interesting, like you said in the tease, that both of those movies came out. This one and Jesse James came out in the same year.
Yeah.
But with that being said, since this was the first time for me, I'll get it now out of the way now. I loved it.
Sure.
Phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
how could I not? It was unbelievable in every way. You had texted me and asked me to give you a one-word description once I finished the movie, and we'll definitely get into the meaning. But I did do that. I did text you a one-word description, and all I said was devastating.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it, but man, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is incredible. I've seen it a bunch of times, and I remember once, I'd seen it a bunch of times at this point too. I was in college, and we were in philosophy of film. This class, it was so hard. That class was hard, mainly because I probably just didn't try very hard, but also just like, I don't know, like philosophy is hard for me because it's so abstract and it's so, whatever. But we had discussed like certain films we could talk about, and someone brought up Gone Baby Gone. I go, can we please, for the love of God, talk about Gone Baby? I could do that forever. I'll ace that paper, no problem. We didn't, but I remember just having such a strong reaction to it because, like, it's one of those films where the ending is, I mean, the movie sort of plays it to a specific side, but I think that there is plenty of there's plenty of Patrick's ideology and Patrick's philosophy that people might agree with at the end of the film. So, okay, what is Gone Baby Gone about? So, there is a little girl missing in Boston. Her name is Amanda, and her mother is worried, obviously, about her, but she's sort of different. She's not your traditional mother. She's a drug addict. She's a drug runner. She hangs out with awful people, and she's neglectful, and she's selfish and narcissistic and all of this stuff. Her sister hires Patrick and Angie. They are a private investigating couple that investigates missing children to help out with the case. And they partner with the police department to try to find Amanda. And through their connections with the neighborhood, they are able to get a lot of information that the police couldn't get. However, during a what would you say, like a setup where they are trying to get Amanda back, Amanda seems to have died during the transaction, during the switch, or during the exchange, and so obviously they're devastated, right? Patrick helps out one more time with a similar case that was kind of connected with Amanda's case, with these drug addicts that are housing a pedophile in their house, and they believe that pedophile has the child they're looking for. And so Patrick, of course, having connections with the neighborhood, has a friend who's a drug dealer who sells drugs to these people, and that's how he's able to infiltrate this place, right? And he tells the police, they go in, one policeman gets gets hurt. He gets shot. And as Patrick is going through the house, he finds that the pedophile has murdered the little boy that they were looking for, and he kills that pedophile. With talking with the detective that he'd been working with Amanda's case, and with this little boy's case as well, he regrets it. He regrets killing that pedophile. He thinks that, we should have just let the system have him. We should have, arrested him and had him put to trial and all of that. I shouldn't have done that, basically. And the detective disagrees. He says, no, you were absolutely right to do that. He's the worst of the worst. He didn't deserve to live, and he tells a story where he's planted evidence on someone to get them arrested because he knew that they were doing these things, but they couldn't prove it, right? And of course, that was also a situation where a kid was being abused and neglected. Well, it turns out that these detectives and the husband of Amanda's aunt, who hired Patrick and Angie, conspired with the police chief to kidnap Amanda and have the police chief raise her so that she can be safe and so she can live a better life and not be neglected and not be in this dangerous environment. When they find this out, Patrick says he needs to call the police and have Amanda be brought back to her mother. Angie disagrees. Angie says absolutely not. She's happy here. She's safe. She gets to eat every day. She'll have slumber parties. She'll go to school. She'll make friends. She'll just be happy. She'll have a better life here. And she says to Patrick that if he were to call the police, that's it. They're over. And she'll never forgive him for it because she feels like this is the best outcome for Amanda, no matter how she got there. Patrick disagrees. He calls the police. They return Amanda back to her mother. At the end, time has passed. Angie is left. And he is struggling to find work, and he doesn't know if he made the right decision. He feels like he might have, right? But it's ruined his life, basically. And when he goes to visit Amanda's mother, Lehane, is about to go on a date, and she's just going to basically leave Amanda there by herself. And Patrick agrees to babysit. And as he's babysitting, he asks if that little doll she had with her is the one that she was kidnapped with. Maribel is the name that Lehane gave everybody, the name of the doll, and Amanda says no, it's Annabelle, right? And you kind of see Patrick, his face drop. Her mother didn't even know her doll's name, right? And they sort of sit there in silence and watch TV. And that's Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah. Devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating. Because, I think what the film does so expertly is no one is wrong. I mean, if anyone's wrong, it's, I guess, Lehane for pretending like she's some saint of a mother.
Right.
But no one is wrong. Patrick isn't wrong for wanting to stick to his moral compass. He's not wrong for seeing the world in black and white. No gray.
Right.
Morgan Freeman isn't wrong. I mean, yeah, he's a little wrong for taking this child from her mother, but he's not wrong for wanting to give this child a chance.
Right.
no one is wrong, and I think that's what makes the film so gripping. And again, I mean, maybe Ed Harris is wrong for wanting to fucking kill Lionel because he knew Lionel was going to talk. Like,
well,
but
it's all to protect this little girl, right? And
mm-hmm.
with Morgan Freeman's character, Jack Doyle, with Captain Doyle, it's said throughout the movie that he lost a child, right? His daughter was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, him being in the law enforcement, that he felt that he could have done something and he didn't. So he feels so much, he's so much responsibility for her death. He can't get over it. And so that, of course, plays into his motivations of taking Amanda. And when, holy Jesus, when Lionel tells that story of Amanda being left in the car, while Helene went and did God knows what, I forgot what it was.
They were her and her friend Dottie, who I can't stand Dottie.
I know.
They went to the beach and they left Amanda in the car.
Yeah. And it's stuff like that you're sort of like, I get it. I completely understand why Lionel set this up, because he knew Remy, he knew Brisant. He knew that Brisant he knows the captain, and so through there, they devise this plan to save Amanda, really. Now, what's cool is if you watch the movie again, you'll see, especially when they're about to go see Cheese. By the way, the reason I picked the movie.
Yeah.
So when they're going to go see Cheese, they're so hesitant to let them in there, right? Because Cheese doesn't know anything, right? And they're afraid that they're going to ruin everything. But they sort of look at each other and they're like, okay, but they have this little aside, and you're like, why are they doing this? Who cares? Let them go in there. And when you watch it again, you're like, it's because they have this thing going on,
I was thinking about that after I finished the movie. I was like, man, but it makes sense that even Cheese is like, what are you talking about,
dude? And Eddie Gathegi, holy Jesus, right? I mean, what a powerhouse performance.
Yeah, man. Justice for Darwin in X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
The most, his character is supposed to be indestructible, and Kevin Bacon fucking kills him like immediately. Anyway, powerhouse performance, and he's so scary. But the look on his face when he's like, when Patrick and Angie are telling him like, you lost 130K, we'll give you it back, just give us the girl. And he's like, what are you talking about? Especially when they bring up, you killed Ray. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and you're right, that Remy and Nick, right? That's the other officer.
Yeah.
That they're like, ugh. But I mean, they already had, their plan was kind of foolproof. Had B not hired Patrick and Angie, they would have gotten away.
Absolutely.
With it. Yeah. But including Patrick and Angie into the equation is what kind of throws a wrench in everything. Because after the movie finished, I did read a little bit more. The plan was to pin everything on Cheese. But I think getting Patrick and Angie involved kind of expedited that process.
Yeah.
which is why I think maybe they came to Cheese's right-hand man to probably hurry up and convince him to betray Cheese.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also love, I mean, and we've talked about it. I loved the detective aspect of it, and actually getting to see, these smart characters be smart and actually use deductive reasoning and be detectives. It wasn't like like, oh, we can solve the case tomorrow. It's like, no, we have to work the evidence.
Yeah. Yeah, so one of my favorite scenes, and one that I think is just so quotable, if you're trying to work on your accent, is when they go to that bar, near the beginning of their investigation, and God, it's just so tense, right? So the guy that they talk to, is the accent coach, for the movie.
Oh, really?
Like he's from there, right? So he's he was their dialect coach, and it's just so tense, right? But it's also kind of funny because like it gets really tense, and like the whole bar is starting to turn on Patrick and Angie, and Angie is threatened, right? But when he calls that guy Fat Dave, like it just makes me laugh, like I, you know, because Dave is so adamant that he's Big Dave, but I like how authentic everything seems. The woman who plays Dottie, she's I know, but she makes a couple of mistakes with her lines that they just keep. I remember I listened to the commentary a few years ago, and Ben Affleck was like, "Yeah, she said visual instead of vigil, but we just let it go because it's like she wouldn't know, you know."
Yeah.
Like she, it's just authentic, right? It's like it's just part of the way she speaks, and that's just how whatever. Who cares? And I like that. I mean, she's gross as a character. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
like her
for
at
sure.
all, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, there is to say that Helene is sort of the antagonist in the movie. Probably true, right? She's awful, right? She is
Yeah.
disgusting, deplorable. Um she's neglectful, borderline abusive to this little girl that she supposedly loves, right? She plays up her, her motherly whatever for the cameras, for the TVs, and for the news. But there are moments where you do kind of feel bad for her. At least I did.
And I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Which, that's why this movie is so powerful and so nuanced, because they're not just going to make Helene the bad guy, right? They're going to give her some humanity.
Right.
They're going to give her some vulnerability, and that you are going to feel bad for her because maybe she really does miss Amanda. I mean, why not? I feel like she doesn't really want to be a mother, but she also doesn't want her kid to die or be missing or whatever, So it's hard to just condemn Helene, even though you really want to, because
yeah,
because again, they give her some moments that you're like, okay, like I see where Patrick is sort of getting at, with Amanda belongs with her mother, not with strangers, basically.
yeah.
And I understand that, but it's still like it still hits me so hard at the end when he calls the police, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she is happy. I see it. I see that she's happy. She doesn't seem frightened or confused or anything. She runs right to Doyle. You know?
Well, and here's a great thing. And I'm very glad you picked this movie, because now you have a new perspective, because you're a father now. So you truly get to see, and now you have this perspective of being a father, of seeing
it was harder this time.
A child happy.
Yeah.
Because I do agree. Or yes, I would say the person, like I said at the top of the show, the person who's wrong is Lehane. But yes, you're right. There are these moments, these very vulnerable moments, like when she makes Patrick promise, like, bring her back, please. I do believe her. I agree with you. I don't think she wanted to be a mother, but I think somewhere deep down she does truly love Amanda. I think her vices are so... she's definitely a product of her area, which, I read a review that said that Ben Affleck really brings working class Boston to the screen. In an authentic way. And I think that's really represented in Lehane, is that she's a product of her environment. She's a product of probably her upbringing as well. And so her addictions have buried this love that I'm sure that's there for Amanda. But that one positive can't outweigh all this negative that the film not only shows the audience, but shows Patrick. That Patrick sees that she's neglectful, that she, like, she even tells him, the last thing I said to her was, "Are you hungry? Do you think they fed her?" Like, they wouldn't, like, but, but Patrick is so set on this black and white, and he does give Doyle a great speech, and again, that he's not wrong for feeling like, I don't want a grown woman coming to me saying, why did you leave me with strangers that you knew better and you did nothing?
Right.
He's not wrong for feeling that. But it's almost like he's the product of his environment, which is a child should be with their parent.
Well,
their parent.
And here's okay. So I think when that little boy goes missing, okay, after Amanda's been declared dead, and Patrick goes back to that house where the Tretts are, right? The dude, Mark Margolis, dude, hell yeah, and that's when he kills Corwin, the pedophile. That was hard. That was hard this time too. But when he kills him and he has that instant regret of doing so, I think that if that had not happened, because I think Patrick, he really does feel weighed down by that decision to kill Corwin. And the reason I say that is because it keeps getting brought up as the movie progresses. People come up to him and they're like, hey, good job. Good job of Corwin, man. That's how I would, that's what needed to be done, And he just like, I shouldn't have. But it keeps getting brought up to him. And so he's having this constant reminder of this decision he made that he regrets, that he feels that, should have gone another way. And now he has the chance to do the right thing, according to him. He's not going to let that happen again. And where he's having these people around him say, this is the right thing to do, no matter what the law says, right? Which is what happened with Corwin, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if that had not happened, maybe Amanda would be with Doyle. Maybe.
That he would have just walked
Maybe.
away.
I think that the reason why it's in the movie in the first place, and the reason why, because there's really no other reason this needs to be in there unless it affects his decisions later. And I think that him
Mm-hmm.
killing Corwin affects his decision
I
to
agree.
to take Amanda back to Helene, even though that's not the best thing for Amanda.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
at the
agree.
beginning, when when they go visit Helene's place, he's like, "Did they kidnap her furniture too?" You know, like he's acknowledging the neglect,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's not blinded by it. I mean, he knows, you know, and Lionel tells that
Mm-hmm.
story, and he knows, you know, but I think um he was so traumatized by his decision with Corwin that he can't let that happen to him again. And unfortunately, it means that Amanda has to go back to Helene.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I didn't think a lot about that. Because I was not expecting him to kill Corwin.
Yeah.
At all.
Well,
I thought for sure.
I mean, what he must have saw, which we got a split second of, was horrific. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't even imagine, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought for sure what was going to happen is he was just going to leave. Because I knew, I was like, Ed Harris is somewhere. I think he's just going to leave. And so that was a shock to me that he went ahead and pulled the trigger. But you're right. I think if he would not have gotten that constant reminder. Actually, no. I'm going to immediately rescind that statement. I was going to say maybe if he wasn't constantly reminded, but no. Because it's an immediate guilt and regret. Even before he even speaks to Ed Harris, it's actually when he speaks to Angie. She says, "I'm proud of you," and he goes, "You're proud of me?" So that regret and that guilt is immediately there.
Yeah.
So I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think if he had just walked away from Corwin, he probably would have walked away from Doyle and just let Amanda live her life with Doyle and his wife, and that would have been it.
Yeah.
But you're right. With the constant reminder and that guilt, it almost was like I'm not going to make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the right choice this time. I'm because I think Patrick is an interesting character in that, he does believe in the rule of law, that, if we follow the law, the right thing will happen. Where other characters have that gray area where they're like, it's okay if you go into the gray.
Right.
Which I think is another reason why this movie is so compelling, because our main investigator only sees the world in black and white.
Yeah.
But everyone around him has that gray area where they're like, no, the world isn't just black and white. And I think that's what also makes the movie so compelling. Also, I love, sorry, this isn't really off topic, but like, I love when Doyle is giving him that great speech, this is for the child. And then he recognizes, okay, and for me too.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you to do this for the sake of the child. Like, not for me, for her. And it just, I know. So good. And Morgan Freeman just nails it. God, God, man, yeah, this movie's so great, and yeah, and Amy Ryan, dude, insane.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah,
I really uh loved to hate her.
Yeah.
Because again, she is so compelling as Helene. And man, but dude, and Dottie, man, again, Dottie's so gross.
You hate
Dottie's
that, yeah.
so gross, bro. I and then what made me more mad than anything at the end of the movie is when she's like, I banned B from the apartment. And it's like, I get you being mad at your brother, but B actually was trying to do the right
Yeah, we
thing
didn't know anything.
by bringing in, yeah, exactly. But I guess because, yeah, as we saw that her and B never got along,
No.
but, and I love that Patrick asks her, do you hate me? Because I think he's trying to convince himself that maybe, I think he's still trying to convince himself in that moment, like, I made the right choice. Right. So I really like that he asks her, like, do you hate me? Because, B's mad at him, which I love the whole, like, yeah, I guess that explains why she didn't pay my bill. Lionel's probably mad at him.
Yeah.
For sure Doyle's mad at him. Angie's mad at him. So this movie has so many great layers and great, just tales of morality. It's so good. God, it's so good. Do you think this is why? Do you think this gave Ben a false sense of security to adapt Live by Night?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I have heard Live by Night is not good.
No, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, because he did The Town and then Argo. I mean, it's like, he's got some good stuff, after this. Live by Night was, I think, the tail end of like the last time his drinking got really bad, and so,
yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but I mean,
so would you like some fun facts?
Yeah, give me some fun facts.
Okay, so Titus Welliver, who plays Lionel.
Mm-hmm.
The reason he has his mustache is because he was shooting Deadwood at the same time and they wouldn't let him cut it. So that's why Lionel has this incredible mustache.
So real Henry Cavill situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're like, no, don't shave it. Like you're doing, he's doing Deadwood. It's got to be this very specific style of mustache.
Well, and I feel like that works with the character of Lionel. This obviously, hardworking blue collar guy.
Yeah.
Great mustache.
Great mustache. I don't know if you know this, but the woman who plays B, Amy Manigan, is married to Ed Harris.
No shit. That's funny. Yeah. And they have like one scene together.
And she, of course, now is a horror icon as Aunt Gladys in Weapons. I mean, so good.
Really?
She's amazing in Weapons, dude. One of the greatest, in my opinion, uses of a very recognizable actor in a very small role is Michael K. Williams in this movie.
Oh,
dude, it's Michael K. Williams. And
dude, when he showed up on screen, I was like, oh, fucking Chalky White.
Dude, if you're watching this in 2007, okay, you're like holy shit, that's fucking Omar. That's Omar Little from The Wire. Because he still wasn't done with The Wire yet. Like he's still like he's almost like he's doing the last season of The Wire during this time. You're like, holy shit, that's Omar Little, you know? Amazing. And he's only in it for like, 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, he's got 3 scenes. We see him for a split second, and then at the funeral, and then when they have that one-on-one, and that's it.
Yeah. The best.
Dude, he will forever be missed, man. He's such a great actor. Now, I do want to mention this. When I started the movie, I was having a hard time not getting on board, but hard time not laughing just because, look, Bostonian accents, I feel like have been kind of put to shame.
They've been satirized, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially considering by our lead actor, Casey Affleck, in one of our favorite skits. I fucking love Duncan, guy.
Yeah.
But of course, once the movie started going, I was like, okay, like I can ignore that. The same with The Departed. It gets me a second because it's just funny hearing how they speak, and then like once the movie gets going, I'm like, all right, I can ignore the accents, because I also know that that's something in the authenticity that Ben was going for.
Well, and
is also
having people in the movie who are from there, who know all of the like the little like idiosyncratic things about being a Bostonian or being in this specific neighborhood or whatever. The gentleman George Carroll, who plays Bubba, right? By the way, when they're driving to that house and they're listening to music in his car, that's him.
I was gonna say, because I looked him up a little bit. I was like, he looks familiar, and I saw that he was like a rapper.
Yeah, he's also in The Town. He's incredible, right? But he is authentically Bostonian. Like that's who he is, right? And like I remember during the commentary, they asked Amy Ryan what part of Boston she was from because she just nailed the accent. And they're like, "You're not from Boston? That's crazy," I was relieved, sort of, that Angie doesn't have one. Angie's sort of like she's sort of like the outsider, right? She's sort of like this person who really is sort of invading these people's spaces. At least that's how it felt, right? Because she doesn't have the accent. She doesn't seem like she's from there, right? It's like she met Patrick later in life, but that's not the case because Dottie knew her from school, So I don't know what's going on, it seems like she's less working class than everybody else.
Yeah.
But she did seem like, I don't know, like she made the investigations into these places in the neighborhood a little more tense because it felt like an outsider was invading this private space, right? Where with Patrick, not so much. Patrick's just a part of it.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I kind of didn't catch on that Michelle wasn't using a Boston accent. Yeah. The only one I really caught, and it's because the film makes you realize it, is Ed Harris.
Yeah.
That Remy's from Louisiana.
Yeah.
But again, it's because the movie wants us to know that he's not from Boston.
But he brings up a good point, which is, if he's lived there longer than Patrick's been alive, then who's more from there? Yeah. That's a philosophical conundrum.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Man, fucking Ed Harris is so great, dude.
He's the best. Also,
Eh, eh,
another fun fact for you. In the book, Patrick and Angie are an older couple.
Okay.
There's a series of books with them as investigators. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, when I was doing a little bit of research, I saw that like it's called like the Kinsey and I don't remember Angie's last name,
Gennaro.
but yeah, the Kinsey and Gennaro series. But this is like the third book in the series. I'm
Yeah,
assuming it's like each book is just a different case they take
I would
on.
assume. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would assume that that would be why Ben specifically picked this one to adapt. Because I would assume that each book is just a different
I
case.
can't imagine any of them being better than this. Just because it's so rich with these questions and with these philosophies that either you agree with it or you don't, but it doesn't present any of them as necessarily wrong or right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is compelling. I mean, this is, I can't imagine what the other ones are like.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Ben should hop back on that train and try to adapt some of the other ones.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, that would be pretty cool to see. Michelle and Casey coming back for another one, but
So anytime in the
probably
movie
never
that
happen.
they're mentioned that they're super young, it's just, it's a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They're not supposed to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that makes it so compelling is that like, yeah, we are following fairly young detectives essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that being said, buddy, are you ready to wrap up?
I am. I love this movie very, very much. I have seen it a bunch of times, and I will continue to see it a bunch of times. It just hits you so hard at the end that it's just undeniable. Yeah. I mean, a movie that can get that emotion out of you is worth watching multiple times.
Agreed. Yeah. After I finished it, I told Ashley, I was like, I think you would really like this. Like, I was like, it's like, I know I say that a lot about some of the movies we've done recently. I was like, but I think you would really, really like this. And it, again, we answered the question of why I said devastating.
Yeah.
But in a good way. I mean, not just, I mean, it's devastating in context of the story, but not devastating as a movie as a whole.
Yeah.
A movie viewing experience, it's fantastic. For sure, would 110% watch it again. I won't lie. I was kind of hoping maybe for a Ben Affleck cameo somewhere. But I am glad there was no gratuitous cameo from him. I think that would have diminished the movie a little bit. So I'm glad he wasn't self-indulgent enough to be like, oh, well, I'm going to put myself in this scene real quick.
Yeah, no. This movie is not for that. Yeah.
Well, buddy, are you ready to hear about what we're going to talk about next week? Because we're doing another 180.
Oh
no. So for next week, as we were talking about off mic, going through the last few movies I've got, because we're getting close, getting close to the end of season series. But going through the few movies I have left, I wasn't vibing with some of them. I mean, obviously, for sure, I'm keeping Sorcerer. We're gonna do Sorcerer soon, and then of course, for sure, my last pick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna save that as a surprise for the audience. For sure, my last pick, which you already know. But I just wasn't vibing with some of the other ones. I was just like, I don't know what it is, and I've already broken my rule twice of picking movies I haven't seen that are in my Criterion collection. So I'm not going to break my rule again, but I am going to be kind of topical. This director is currently he's been in the news a lot, in a good way. Nothing bad. And he's been talked about a lot lately. And I'm like, you know what? Let's jump on the bandwagon. Maybe this one might get the views, might get the clicks. So next week, buddy, we are discussing the 2002 comedy drama romance from Paul Thomas Anderson, Punch Drunk Love.
Okay.
I have obviously never seen this, but we have done enough PTA that I feel like I'm finally ready to watch it, because I have heard that this is a very divisive film.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I watched it a year ago or so for the first time.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, and yeah, it's interesting. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, so a second viewing would probably help with that. Yeah, it's definitely not a favorite PTA. Of course, my favorites are like There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights. I really liked Heart 8.
Not Magnolia?
I mean, Magnolia is like, it's so good. I don't know, like, it's hard. Like, Magnolia should be number one, I guess, but yeah. Right.
Yeah, you know, I you know, again, he's in the news right now. Apparently one battle after another is, I heard it's, a lot of people are like, holy shit, which I don't know why they're surprised. It's Paul Thomas Anderson.
I don't think Licorice Pizza was received that well, so
I think it was received well enough, like well enough for people to be like, okay,
yeah,
you know. I will say, even though I never saw the 2023 remake, I believe, of White Men Can't Jump, I will say Jack Harlow has one line in that movie, because they put it in the trailer, that I'm so glad I think it made it to the final edit, where they're talking about directors, and Jack Harlow says, yeah, like he's like the Paul Thomas Anderson, and the guy, the other guy's like, who? He's like, Paul Thomas Anderson, one of our hardest working living directors right now. And he's like, no, I think he means Spike Lee. But I'm so glad that Paul Thomas Anderson did get a shout out in a very shitty remake. But yeah, I've also wanted to see this because, again, you know, as we talked about in our Uncut Gems episode, the Sandman can do drama. And I think he's very I think people really underestimate how good he is in the drama.
Yeah.
But cool, man. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, especially because this will be a first viewing for me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I love Paul Thomas Anderson, so I'll give this a second try. Let's do it.
Cool. All right, everyone. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode on Gone Baby Gone, and we will see you next week for Punch Drunk Love.